Check,
Yep,
check.
looking good, looking good.
So when are the actors getting here?
Soon?
You ready?
Oh, not really.
Why not?
I don't know. How do you explain this show?
Just ask them questions. They'll figure it out.
I honestly had ChatGPT generate these questions.
Seriously?
What?
You don't need that stuff. Just grab a piece of paper and write down some stuff.
It honestly saved me so much time.
What happened to your muse?
Oh.
Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bone. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Well, I had heard of the play. I read the character descriptions. I watched a video on YouTube, and I thought it was a great story, and I knew there was one character I could play. So
I worked water construction for 30 years.
Okay.
And I retired this past December at the age of 50.
Okay.
And a lot of the conversations that they have in the production, I've actually had with my family, with my coworkers. So I really, that's the things that really drew me to it. It became really personal. So I see a lot of myself in those characters in the bar.
I've done work with Barbara Washington, the director, before, and I was doing another show at Onstage Atlanta when she had an actor drop out of Sweat. So I came in as a last-minute replacement. I've always admired her work on stage, but I've never gotten a chance to work with her as a director. And I haven't done a drama since the pandemic, so this was a chance to do something a little bit more serious than I've been doing lately. So
a friend of mine told me about the auditions. I just felt like Cynthia and that kind of spoke to me. I feel like she and I have a lot in common, especially as being a Black woman. Oftentimes in positions of power, you feel like people assume you got it because you're Black, not because you actually qualified for the position. So that spoke to me.
It's hard. It's a drama, but there are lighter moments in it. But I think it's very relatable, even though it takes place it takes place in 2008 with flashbacks to 2000. So much of the play is taking place in the year 2000. But even though it takes place during those times, I think you will see parallels between what's going on now in the news and in politics. It's very similar to things that are happening back then.
Sweat is, in my opinion, it's a play about how corporate America or the money people manipulate those who work for them and pit them against each other.
In college, in a previous production.
And who'd you play in that?
In the previous production I played the character of Stan. And so my parents, they saw that show, and they were, I was talking with them afterwards, and they were talking about how it was so realistic that it reminded them exactly of that time period, like the early 2000s where the show takes place, when these things were really starting to happen and people were starting to get worried about it. I was talking to them about it. They said, yeah, like they said it was almost uncanny just how much they remembered these exact conversations and, these exact situations with people they did know going down, where, people would be kind of at each other's throats about promotions and, why are you taking this job?
Sweat is a play about change in a specific town with union workers, race conditions, and all kinds of things. But it's really about change and how change affects people, because people do not like change. They get into very comfortable positions and they don't want things to mess that up.
Personally, when I moved to Atlanta, because I'm from New York, when I moved to Atlanta, I was young enough at that point in time. And I said to myself, my cousin said to me, she said, no, my mother said to me, are you sure you want to do this? But my cousin looked at me and she said, you know something? She said, you're young. She said, you're moving someplace else. You're going to do something. You're going to try something different. She says, if it doesn't work out, you're young enough to start again. Whereas my mom, she was set. Things were working this way. I was working at a job. It was fine. I was doing okay. But my heart wanted something different. For me, the change was amazing. It worked out great because I took the opportunity to take the step. And I think young people more so do that. In fact, for me, I generally, if someone asks me, I encourage them. I said, you're young enough. Go for your dream.
Well, I haven't worked in a factory, but I've worked in many restaurants. And one thing I know is at the end of the day, a lot of times employees are just numbers to make a product go forward. And unfortunately, if they can down your number to make their number go up, they're going to, because I've seen it happen 100 times.
I'm from a small town outside of Montgomery, Alabama, where it's like a plant town where everyone works at the factory and so on and so forth. So it's that same mundane process. You go to high school, you get this good job with these good benefits, and you don't leave because there's nothing around worth going to. Krishan, said, yeah, no, that's not the life that I want to live. I want to go to college. I want to do this. I want to do that, so on and so forth. I was able to accomplish those things. So I feel like there is a point in which myself and the character Chris, we're on this same path. And where Chris stops, I continue. So I'm able to see what that life looks like once these plans have been finished and seen all the way through. So at one point, I'm able to look back and like, Chris, this is what life could have been like had you gotten to the other side,
People that don't have any empathy for other people.
Not knowing.
Why can't we all get along,
You're sweating over the fact that they're sweating.
Yeah.
Worrying about my kids.
Ignorance. And
Just the love and the care that I have for my immediate family.
Confrontation.
Not knowing.
Talking to people.
People.
What makes you sweat? What kind of question is that?
Okay, it was the only one that wasn't bot generated.
Okay. Well, what makes you sweat?
Honestly, I think AI is coming for my job.
Come See Sweat is an amazing production. Got tongue-tied. Not just because I'm in it, but you will walk away laughing, crying, and I promise you will love every second of this show. It's an amazing cast. So come see us. Come see us sweat.